Well, I originally started doing stained glass, and I just fell in love with glass as a medium. And then when I graduated from college, I realized that I really wanted to pursue glass, and that's when I got into glass blowing. And I've been doing full-time glass for about the last 8 years. When I graduated from school and I moved to Bloomington, I spent a year trying to figure out what it was I wanted to do, and I realized I'm interested in teaching, and I'm interested in having a studio that's open to the public. I want to have a glass studio here in Bloomington, and to do that, I need to raise the funds. As far as I know, the idea of a glass pumpkin patch started in the Bay Area at the Bay Area Glass Institute, which is an open access public glass studio. And they started doing it as their fundraiser sometime in the mid-90s. Blowing pumpkins is fun. It's fun, it's social. It takes 2 to 3 people to make each pumpkin. People of any skill level can be involved in it. So I can have someone who's just decided they're interested in glass and interested in knowing about it. I can bring them to the studio, and within 20 minutes I can have them helping me make a pumpkin. And it's exciting for people to have that hands-on moment where they got to help make something and they can see what their work did for the pumpkin. They look fabulous. Even the funny looking ones look fabulous. They're shiny, they're sparkly, they're beautiful. They have movement and motion in a way that a vase doesn't. It's Cinderella, it's the glass, it's the pumpkins, it's the shiny, it's a fairy tale. So in order to make a pumpkin, the first thing you have to do is pick out your colors. Colors are crushed colored glass. You get glass on your pipe. You get a gather of molten glass. You roll it in the color, which will stick to it. Then you pop a bubble in your pipe, so you now have a bubble in this piece of glass. Then you shape it so that it's shaped kind of like this. Then I get the thing screaming hot, like dripping, scary hot. And then I blow it into a mold. That's the cheating part we don't tell you ahead of time. And that's what gives it those ribs. And then I have to shape the pumpkin. So I blow up the pumpkin. Meanwhile, my assistant is going and getting another piece of glass. And they're making the stem. Then they go get their piece hot. I get my piece hot. We meet at the bench. And we stick the 2 pieces together like this. We pull off the stem and cut it, and then my assistant grabs the end of that stem, pulls it out long, and wraps it in a frenzy around a copper pipe. We pull the pipe out and attach it back to the pumpkin, and then I reheat it maybe 3 or 4 more times to make that stem go where I want it to go, to give it a graceful curve. Then we put it in the kiln. We don't get to see it until the next day, and that's the hardest part. But it does mean that every day is like Christmas, because you always get to open the kiln and see what you made. And with any luck, they're pretty. Glass blowing is not intuitive. I would say knitting is intuitive. You know, some things you can look at and you can futz around with and figure it out. Glass is not one of them. So when I'm making a piece, the first thing I do is I draw out all the steps of what I'm doing, every single bit of minutia. And there'll come times when I'll be making a piece and I'll have forgotten a step. And I can't go back. I have to deal with what I've got and on the fly figure it out. And I just kind of go with it. Some people are perfectionists, I'm not. I've been artistic since I was a little kid, and I've always found art to be very easy, and glass is the one thing that I find it's hard. It's the one thing that continually kicks my butt. It's a demanding, difficult medium, and that's exciting.